The next topic we're going to discuss is some of the fears, blocks, and myths that have prevented people from being successful with canvassing. We have a saying, and that is, the higher the fruit on the tree, the sweeter the taste will be. And we certainly feel that is true with canvassing as well. Although there are a number of obstacles in some cases that have prevented people from being successful with canvassing, once you do overcome those hurdles, you'll see a tremendous benefit by adding canvassing as a lead source for your company. The next topic I want to talk about is the legality of canvassing. There are a lot of questions regarding the legalities of canvassing. So I have here an article that was published in the Cleveland Plain Dealer discussing the Supreme Court's ruling on canvassing. Specifically, the requirement to go down to City Hall and pull permits prior to canvassing door to door. What Supreme Court has ruled is it is unconstitutional to require canvassers to have to go down to City Hall to pull a permit before going door to door. And we're going to take a look at some of the highlights of this particular article. If you get on Google, you can do a Google search for the Supreme Court's ruling on canvassing. Again, this one happens to be an article that was published in the Cleveland Plain Dealer. However, there's been numerous other articles published throughout many publications across the United States. The first highlight that we're going to discuss that was in this article is the fact that the court stated that it was offensive to the very notion of free society that canvassers should have to go down to City Hall and pull a permit prior to knocking on doors. The second highlight is a citizen should not have to inform the government prior to going door to door. Keep in mind, political campaigners use canvassing as a key element in getting out and rocking the vote, so to speak. So in order for them to have to approach the current mayor or governor or whomever and get permission to go door to door at City Hall is kind of a contradiction there. So that's another reason why this old ordinance has been overruled and canvassing has become legal in that regard. The next thing, it says the court was very direct in its desire to protect free speech. They feel canvassing certainly falls under that umbrella of free speech, and that is why they overturned some of these small towns' former ordinances requiring permits to be pulled before going door to door. Lastly, their conclusion was even a spontaneous decision to go across the street to speak with a neighbor and ask for a cup of sugar or a cup of milk should require a permit to be pulled for canvassing under the old laws. And obviously that is preposterous, and that's why these old laws have been overturned. So, wanted to make you aware of that. A lot of people are curious. Now, I want you to keep in mind, I'm not recommending that you take on City Hall. Many towns and townships still enforce these old laws despite the fact that the Supreme Court has made this ruling. I'm not recommending that you take on City Hall. In some cases, it's a lot easier just to go down and pull the permits and carry about your business. If you do, however, get stopped, I recommend keeping an article or the Supreme Court's ruling on canvassing on your clipboard, and but certainly move to another area and continue business as usual in the event it becomes problematic. The next topic that prevents people from being successful with canvassing, or is a struggle for folks that are trying to have success with canvassing, is the dilemma of whether or not they need a manager. Now, I'm a firm believer that over time you can develop a manager within your business, and you don't want to be held hostage by someone that you hire from the outside. And that's assuming you're going to have a large canvassing operation in your company. Initially, you can have a tremendous amount of success just having your salespeople canvass. Sometimes, in some cases, just one day per week. The key is to have a systematic approach with it. Do it on one specific day of the week and do it over and over again. And it's a leadership thing. The owners or the sales manager needs to participate actively in organizing this and making it something that is systematic and repeated on a weekly basis. If you just recommend that your salespeople go out and canvass without supplying them the proper scripting, tools, and having them well equipped to generate